Muller. Welcome to Noir Alley. I don't know about you, but to me, this feels like a perfect time to go fishing. Not a typical activity in the alley, but then today's film, The Breaking Point from 1950, is not your typical movie. In fact, the story behind it started on a fishing trip back in 1939. That's when director Howard Hawks boasted to his buddy Ernest Hemingway that he could make a decent movie from the novelist's worst book. "And which one would that be?" America's most famous writer asked, to which Hawks replied, "That piece of junk, To Have and Have Not." Well, 5 years and a boatload of screenwriters later, Hawks made good on his boast. To Have and Have Not, made at Warner's in 1944, provided another memorable role for Humphrey Bogart, although its greatest claim to fame was introducing to movie screens 19-year-old Lauren Bacall. But Hemingway could be forgiven if he didn't recognize his novel, because aside from the title and the name of the boat jockey that Bogart played, the movie had nothing to do with the novel. Hawks's film is such a knockoff of the Oscar-winning Casablanca, it should have been called Martinique, which is where Hawks relocated the story. This is precisely what Ranald McDougall, screenwriting protege of producer Jerry Wald, told his bosses at Warner Brothers 5 years later. "We own Hemingway's book, but we still haven't made a movie out of it." He wanted to take another crack at it, this time more faithfully. The writer had some pull at that point, having scripted 2 recent Joan Crawford hits, Mildred Pierce and Possessed, as well as June Bride with Bette Davis. Now, although names such as Kirk Douglas, James Cagney, and Errol Flynn were bandied about for the lead, McDougall wanted John Garfield. He felt he was perfect for the role of the tortured and tempted skipper, Harry Morgan. And the actor agreed, provided Michael Curtiz was at the helm. Garfield had made 3 of his earliest movies with Curtiz, and he credited the Hungarian director with making him a star. By 1949, the actor's popularity was waning a bit, and Garfield hoped a reunion with Curtiz would bring him luck. His previous film, Under My Skin, also released in 1950 and also based on a Hemingway story, had tanked at the box office. But due mainly to Jerry Wald's enthusiasm and track record, the studio gave the go-ahead for a new version of To Have and Have Not, renamed The Breaking Point. Garfield had so much excitement for the project and so many ideas, he became in essence a de facto producer. Mainly, he wanted to avoid what he considered the schmaltziness of Hawks's film. He loved McDougall's script because it captured the honesty and truthfulness of the book without resorting to any phony glamour. Captain Harry Morgan was now a decorated World War II vet who doesn't fit comfortably into peacetime. Balboa, California replaced the novel's Key West setting, making the story less exotic and more the tale of an everyday guy. The narrative tightened the focus on Morgan's troubled marriage and the one-time hero's struggle to support his family. Garfield especially wanted to present a realistic depiction of a husband and wife at odds, yet still devoted to each other. Marriage and family were obviously on the actor's mind. While making Under My Skin, Garfield had an affair with co-star Micheline Prel, only the latest in a series of dalliances that had increased after the accidental death in 1945 of his 6-year-old daughter, Catherine. Garfield struggled to be a loyal husband to his wife, Robbie, and a good father to the other kids, David and Julie. All that inner turmoil would inform this performance, which the actor felt was the best of his career. The scenes between Harry and his wife, Lucy, poignantly played by Phyllis Thaxter, are stronger than anything in Hemingway's novel. Their familiarity with each other in moments that are both tender and vicious seems like real marriage. Thaxter imbues Lucy with a grit and determination rare in Hollywood wasp wives, and the character's vulnerability is heart-wrenching. The other woman, Leona Charles, was entirely McDougall's creation. He distilled Hemingway's sketchy musings about sex-hungry predators into one fierce example of the species. Given full body and snippy wit by Patricia Neal, Leona may be the most believable femme fatale in all of noir. Featuring a supporting cast that is perfect from top to bottom, with especially memorable moments from Wallace Ford and Juano Hernandez, Here is an Ernest Hemingway adaptation that actually does Papa one better. Here is The Breaking Point.